dead of night, two voices awaken from the crypt. One coffin.
Two opinions.
Endless screams.
The Two Souls, One Crypt. I'm Jeff Darko.
And I'm Beth Graves.
And we were out last week. We went on vacation to the beach celebrating Beth's birthday, but we're back. We just got back from watching Undertone, and that's the topic of discussion today.
Yes. So, Undertone. What does Undertone even mean? I looked it up because I was like, what the heck does that even mean? It apparently means a muted sound or color. Undertone, this movie was a 2025 Canadian horror film written and directed by, if I hope I pronounce this right, Tuason in his directional debut. And it stars Nina Curie, who plays Evie, the main character, is a woman who hosts a paranormal podcast with Justin, which is funny because that's what we're doing. And we're like, well, let's go watch this movie about a podcast.
Yeah, there's more paranormal than ours. Ours is movie reviews. And anyways,
but it's still pretty fascinating.
It's a neat idea, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason we even knew about this movie was from our guy we follow on Instagram and Facebook. His name's Slasher Talk. And if you don't know who he is, you need to go and follow him. He's amazing. And I usually like about 95% of the movies he likes. Jeff's a little less on that. But
yeah, I mean, he does have some good recommendations.
I mean, I like most of them.
He said it's one of the scariest movies he's seen.
And you know what?
So we'll dive into that in a little bit.
Yeah, we will dive into that. We will try not to give any spoilers because I know you all need to go and watch it. So,
I mean, is there really any spoilers though?
Well, that could be. You gotta be.
I mean, a little bit, I guess. Yeah, we won't give away a lot. We'll talk about it. We won't give away like every detail, but anyways.
So in the movie, it starts out Evie. She moves back in with her mom, who she's been taking care of. She's obviously sick and is on her deathbed, and
she does sleep.
Right. So,
and I'm thinking through the whole movie, like she's like, oh, she hasn't eaten in 3 or 4 days. I'm like, how the hell is she even alive still, if not drinking anything for 4 days?
Well, she keeps saying my mom hasn't eaten in like 2 days, and I'm thinking, well, that doesn't sound.
I mean, food you can go away with, but water.
Yeah, and I was like, it's just weird. But so that
didn't take away from the movie though.
No, but the only outlet she has is this podcast with her friend Justin, which I don't understand what the relationship with him is. And you'll watch the movie, you'll question it like
they don't go into a lot of detail of how they know each other or where he's at.
Or what the situation is. And he's like asking about her mom and asking about her, and then she's like, oh, are you still living with whatever her name is? And I'm thinking,
I think he lives overseas because she said something about going over there and she would just be there to visit him kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, how are y'all friends? And then did you have a relationship? Are you just good friends? Like, what's your situation? And my thoughts was that they apparently had a relationship and then just became good friends, and then he was dating somebody and she's dating somebody or whatever, and that's just the vibe I got.
I don't know. She's living with somebody because she does mention that she wants to get her own place, maybe, but I don't know. I think they're just good friends. They don't really go into that, but I mean, it don't take away from the movie.
No, but
you just kind of wonder like how they know each other, kind of thing. But they do a podcast over phone call. And,
yeah, but
both have laptops
they
and
seem
start recording.
Very close to just be friends. That's just my thoughts. That's just a woman's.
They can be good friends without anything else.
Well, that's just a woman's in whatever my intuition. I felt like they connected because I don't know. They seem awfully close, more than friends.
I don't know.
But anyway,
that don't take away from the movie.
No, that has nothing to do with the movie part of it. But still, I'm curious about that because they never explain that. I'd still like to know. But anyway, so
getting off subject here.
Of course we are. But I do.
Anyways, back to the movie.
So Evie, her mom was apparently Catholic. There's a lot of Catholic references in the movie, and
it's a lot more religion based than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, and it's very.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. I just didn't know that it was going to be that, like her mom praying for her and all these like crosses and religious pictures and Jesus pictures and all this stuff, and they dive into that kind of thing in a way.
Yeah, it's very religious. And then so on the podcast, it's her friend
So
Justin.
their podcast is called Undertone.
Right. The podcast is called Undertone, and they get on there, and then he basically he gets an email with all these different files, and he's like, "Hey, let's listen to them."
Yeah, there's like 10 audio clips, and he listened to like half of the first one. And he's like, "Oh, I need to save it for the podcast."
Right.
And apparently, he's the researcher of the podcast. He looks everything up, and she's the skeptic, and he's the more believer, which they touched that. It's like he's the believer in Santa Claus. And he's like, I never really believed in Santa Claus, but he's more open-minded, I guess, than her kind of thing.
But yeah, if you're an X-Files fan, I feel like he's Mulder and she's more Scully. It's more
exactly. She's more of the, like, I want to debunk everything, and
right.
It's just there's this explanation for everything that happens.
She's a scientific, down to earth non-believer. He's like, okay, there's aliens and
he's
ghosts.
More, he's like, I want to believe.
And demons, and I think there's something weird on this, which would be me. I would be like, yeah, this is totally freaking me out, and it's whatever.
Are you saying I'm Scully?
You're definitely Scully. I'm definitely Mulder.
anyways, yeah. So he plays part of the first clip, and then he's like, I want to save it for the podcast. So then they listen, and it goes 2 or 3 days. I think they do it every Friday episode. So they go 2 or 3 days.
Tuesday, but that doesn't matter.
Recording, and they actually have to end up doing 2 parts of the podcast because they get so off track and deep dive into the stuff that's going on, and they listen all the way up to like 8, I think, and then part 2 of the podcast to do 9 and 10.
So I do want to say this, and like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's so at the beginning of the movie, when the movie comes on, she's singing like a children's lullaby song, and it's something about the sheep, and I can't remember.
Baa Black Sheep song.
Baa Black Sheep song. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why it starts out. She sings it to her mom because her mom. Yeah. She says her mom sang it to her a lot when she was little.
So, and anyway, I'm freaked out by all these little anything to do with kids, children's little fairy tales and whatever.
And it's a lot of that in the movie too.
Yes, and it creeps me out anyway. So that gave me the creeps at the beginning, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that to start out with." And I know it's like this movie's gonna be creepy. So, and then he's talking about, and they're talking about playing songs in reverse and all this stuff, and it gave me vibes from like the 80s when we used to do backward masking and like play music backwards. And
they played the children's songs backwards.
Yes, and I was like, why would you do that?
Baa Black Sheep that played backwards. London Bridge.
Yes, and I was
like, so they deep dive into London Bridge a little bit, and he's like, "Could you hear that?" And I was like, "I don't hear shit."
Right.
I was like her. I was like, "I don't hear it."
Well,
like,
I mean, and like,
like, you don't hear that, you don't hear that, and I'm like, "I don't hear it."
And then I was like, "This is exactly the same conversation we would have." I was like, I totally hear it.
I finally heard it in a couple of different spots.
It was just like so creepy, and I'm like, oh my god! And now I want to go and listen to all these children. Now, like now that I've watched the movie, when you watch the movie, you're going to do the same thing I am. You're going to dive into all these children's songs because I knew like a lot of like
Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Right, like Ring Around the Rosies and all that and stuff. So it was like how these children's songs and this creepy kid vibe thing going on. So it was just giving me the creeps with that. And there was a few parts in the movie, and like Slasher Talk, he said, well, it's like the scariest movie of the year. I don't know, but it really did give me chills in a few parts of it. I was like,
there's a couple of jump scares.
There was some jump
and I looked at you like, that scare you?
And we got to talk
apparently it was it's a horror comedy.
Apparently, we didn't know that, I guess.
Did not know that going in.
No, apparently.
There was an older couple, and they sat down in the very front row, and then, like, there were some parts I didn't think it was funny at all. Like, there's no part in the movie to me that was funny.
No, none of it was funny.
But
none of it was funny.
He laughed. Well, actually, I think both laughed.
Like,
at several parts.
Right. And then
you could hear them. Like, the theater was pretty quiet because everybody was paying attention and listening, but they would laugh, and I'm like, that was not funny.
That was the last movie that we watched and people kept laughing, and you did that. What movie was that?
Scream.
Scream.
Scream was a horror comedy.
Apparently, Scream was a horror comedy too. We did not know these movies were hilarious. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Scream had some parts where you could see you kind of could chuckle, but this movie was not. It didn't have any parts in it to me that I would chuckle or laugh.
And then I was like, he was like,
the one part, like she got some whiskey. This is not really giving anything away. And she was drinking, and they were doing the podcast. And he's like, "Are you drinking again?" She's like, "No," and she just took a drink. And he's like, and like laughing at it. And I'm like, that wasn't funny. Like, I mean, I guess in a way, maybe, I don't know, but I
don't
really
know why he thought it was like he was like hysterically laughing.
I didn't think
like
it was that funny. And at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, they were playing children's song. Was it? I don't know if it was Blah Blah Black Sheep or which one it was. But anyways, he was kind of head bobbing back and forth in his seat, and I'm like, "Oh, he's dancing to it."
So we were
We think this guy was a psycho.
and yeah, so the end of the movie, like it just ended, and we were like, okay.
Somebody once it ended, he's like, "What the hell?" And then that guy, he was just kind of started dancing along with the.
Well, so
the
we were
music.
leaving, and so this couple, they're sitting at the front of the theater, and down in the very front, and it was like, I'm guessing they're like maybe, I don't know,
They had to be in their
70,
60s or
70. Well,
late
they're
60s.
yeah,
Maybe
60s,
70s.
maybe. I'm thinking 70s, and the guy's just head bobbing back and forth like do 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 do, and then I look
He's
at his
enjoying
wife,
the
and they're
music.
both like just joining in. They're just like dancing around, and I'm like, okay.
They enjoyed that movie too much.
Yeah, and it was just really freaking me out. And I was telling Jeff, I said, he gave me vibes. Like, I don't know if you've seen Pet Cemetery 2, but the killer in that movie, but she's older now. And then,
He did not look like him at all.
but the older version of him, he reminded me of him. He gave me that vibe. And then the woman from Weapons, the crazy aunt or whatever her name was, I can't remember her name right. Gladys, was that her name?
Maybe, yeah.
And like she was like Gladys, but she didn't look like Gladys. So they were just giving me that vibe, and I was like, we need to get the hell up out of here as quickly as possible. And then of course we had to go to the bathroom because we've been in there for like 2 hours. And I was like,
He goes to the bathroom, and I'm waiting on her to come out. I'm definitely not going in there.
It's
The psycho guy
it's like
that laughed at Undertone.
I was like, well, I want to hurry and get in the bathroom and out of the bathroom before she came in there. There was the other.
She didn't come in there, but
No, thank God, because I was like, we always go to the early show and hopefully don't get.
There's always an older couple. I think it's the same couple. There's always an older couple that
Yes.
sits in the front row, and I think it's always them every time. I don't know.
Yes, it's just
Anyway,
yeah, it's like what the heck? I don't know why this is so funny, but you need to tell them about Mike talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
well, that's a different subject. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 when I was probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, maybe. And I was at my uncle's in-laws, and they had it on VHS, and me and my brother Dave watched it with my uncle's friend, Mike Elam. He laughed all the way through that movie like it was a comedy straight up. I've not really watched it since. It might be a comedy. It scared me as a kid when I was 11 years old, but he laughed hysterically all the way through it like it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen in his entire life. It was think of the funniest comedy, like you laugh from beginning to end. And that was him through this movie.
So we get out of the
So
movie.
every time I'm always like, damn, Mike Elam must have been watching this movie with us because he was laughing during it. But
So yeah, when we get out of the movie, we went to get something to eat. Jeff's like texting Dave, his brother, and he's like, well, Mike Elam was in the theater today. Because like literally he was like hysterically laughing.
He laughed like super loud at one point.
Yes, it was like I was like, are we watching
There's at one part
Dumb and Dumber
she
or
says
some
something about her
comedy?
mom, and he laughed like really loud, and I'm like, that was not
It
funny.
was not.
at
It was
all.
not even funny at all.
It was kind of a serious moment in the movie.
Yeah, it was just.
He's like, ha, 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 like super loud. Like you
Yeah,
could hear
it
him
was
all
like,
over the theater.
why
Which there
is-
was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 people in the theater.
Right, and I was like, why is that so funny?
But anyways, back to Undertone.
Back to Undertone. Yes, it was great. Like I
You
said,
give more details away about it, or you want to talk
I don't
about
want to give too many details because I really
it?
really-
Basically it takes place in her mother's house the whole time. She does leave and go to a party somebody calls her to, but she's taking care of her mother the whole time. And basically, it's about her podcast that they do.
I
There's
love.
weird shit happens all the way through it, and you're like, what
You-
the
you
hell
really-
is going on here?
You've really got to pay attention to the details in this movie. You've really like if you've watched Paranormal Activity or any of those kind of creepy.
Way better than that.
Well, of course. But if you watch any of those movies where there's the details, you've got to really pay attention to but the scenes behind her, you got to watch the lights, you got to watch everything because you'll
And
miss it.
listen.
You've got to
Listen.
really listen, you've got to really pay attention because you will miss it. And that's the creepy part of the movie. and then the music, and then it's just the details. Like, they really did a good job. They really did a good job.
You go in, and then I'll go in.
What you're talking about, my thoughts as far
Yeah,
as my
go
rant?
ahead. What you thought about the movie and all that, and then I'll give you mine. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm hard to scare, and I don't usually like ghostly demon stuff. Like, usually I'm the slasher, you like murder person coming in, and that's usually what scares the bejesus out of me. But this movie,
You can cuss. You don't say shit. It scared the shit out of you.
well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really scares the fuck out of me. But like, this movie really had me on the edge of my seat in parts. And it gave me chills in a few parts, and especially those creepy songs. And it's just the quietness, and then, like I said,
I think
the
the backwardness of the songs made
the
it
backwardness of
even
the
creepier than
songs.
the
It just
songs itself.
right. It just
They were creepy the way that the songs that they played, but when they played them backwards, it was like way
yes.
worse.
Yes, it really, really just made my skin crawl in a few parts. And I feel like this is a good movie to watch in the theater because I feel like when you're in the theater, you're really focused on it and it's quiet in there and it's dark. Like if you're at home, you're kind of like
Well,
distracted.
yeah, but if you do wait to watch it at home, I think you should watch it at night. All the lights off, the
Yes.
sound way up.
Unless you're Jenna, our daughter.
Yeah,
And we
you have
don't
to watch it
recommend
during
that
the
for her.
Oh, but watch it if you despise going to the movies anymore and you just watch everything streaming at home and late at night. Oh, well, not really late, but once it's
Just dark.
dark, lights off so you
Mhm.
can see everything good, sound way up so you can hear everything good.
Yes, and pay really close attention. Don't be on your phone. Stay focused, and you got to watch every detail. And like we said, we told Jen not to watch it.
Jenna has to watch it during the day.
She
There's
will
no
be
way.
scared to death.
She said the preview scared her. So.
Well, so yeah, Aspen could probably handle it, and Aspen may or may not like it. I don't know. But Gina definitely, yeah, watch it with the lights on. Everybody else watch it in the dark or watch it in the theater.
I think Aspen would like it.
You think so?
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
We'll find
But anyways,
out.
what do you say?
What's our rating? 5
5 skulls is the best.
skulls. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay. I really liked this movie. It was creepy. It's super creepy. But like I said, you have to really listen. I think the audio is what made this
Yes,
movie.
the audio was great.
The visuals and all the scenes and everything was good because
Yes.
it's like different parts and you like it just shows stuff. So you have to pay attention to that. But the audio is what makes this movie to me.
Yes, I
And when
agree.
I really liked it when she put on her headphones to do the podcast, and like you could tell that the sound changed.
Yes, I did.
It went like muffled, like
and then it went
still
silent.
hearing stuff, but like you couldn't hear what was going on in the house. You was hearing what the video or the audio was playing on the podcast, and him and her talking. But then once she took the headphones off, it's kind of like you took the headphones off in a way,
Right.
and the sound opened up so much more.
Yes,
And
I agree. I love that too. I think
I think the audio is what makes this movie.
yes,
They
it
focused
really
way much. Yeah, the audio.
well, it was kind of like to me
That's
like
why I say if you watch it at home, make sure your sound is up. Like it's not stuff that you're going to miss if you have it down low because it's not like Skinner Marink and it's like whispering shit.
what's funny because I was getting ready to say like
But,
Skinnamarink. It's like what Skinnamarink could have been.
The audio is just like it makes the movie, and like I
Yes.
feel like you just need it loud just so that you catch everything, and it really just freaks you out more.
Yes.
Because it's nothing that you're going to like muffle. Well, there is some muffled sounds, but then they increase the audio on our computers and stuff to listen to it and hear it. There's nothing that you're going to miss. You just have it at normal level. But I think you just have to have it increase more. Just it adds to it.
Yes.
The louder it is, like if you don't watch it in theater, it just adds to it more, and it's just creepier that way.
Yes. Turn it up loud. Get in the dark if you can't go to the theater, and
Or you don't want to.
or you don't want to. And don't be on your phone. You got to really pay attention because you'll miss the little details. And if you miss the little details, you're going to really miss this. And you have to pay attention because there's some really creepy parts in it that'll just really grab you.
Yeah, there's some creepy visuals. The audio, like I said, the audio makes this movie.
Yes.
That's I guess because it's podcast based and audio based. They really did a good job with the audio and making of this movie.
Mhm.
But it's nothing gory, nothing gross or any of that stuff. It's just
no.
really, really creepy because every time she does the podcast, I think that guy was in a different country. They always reported the podcast at like 2:30 or 3 in the morning. So everything
Yes.
happens around what they call the witching hour.
Yes, and he
He
love
said
that.
so it's 3:00 like her time, but then he don't really say what time it is in his time, but he says if you wanna they do a part where you can call in live, and he says they call in between 2:30 and 3 Eastern time, because that would be her time. So I don't know, I think because he said at one point, he says, "I gotta get off here and go to work." So he's like I think he's way ahead of her at some point. Like,
Yes,
he's, like, over in London, England, Germany, somewheres over in there.
yeah.
But, yeah, it takes place in the witching hour. So she'll go take care of her mom, and then 2:30, 3 going on 3:00, she gets on there and they record the podcast, upload later, and it all takes place the witching hour in the morning, 3:00 in
And
the
you gotta
morning.
really pay attention to that clock too. I'm just gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna tell you why, but just really watch that clock, especially toward the end of the movie. It's very, like I said, the little details you
Yeah.
gotta really watch. It's
You might be like that guy at the end when we watched it. He's like, "What the hell?" You might be like that, but, what'd you think of it? Not giving anything away, what'd you think of the ending? Did you like the ending?
yes and no. I mean, I kind of felt like that guy. Like I kind of was thinking, what? But then I was kind of thinking, well, it kind of left it to, I guess, your
It's
own.
it's kinda yeah, it's kind of your own interpretation, I think, in a way,
Right?
of what happened.
Right? They kinda left you hanging, but it's like, well, what? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
You
Is
think it was a good ending?
a little more closure, but I was still like, okay, I enjoyed it up until that point, so
I think it went well with the story that they had.
yeah, I mean, like, I was like, okay.
Not giving anything away, but based on what they based it on and where it went to,
Mhm.
I think it kinda worked. I think
I
it
think
worked.
so. I mean, I still loved it.
Yeah, I think like
I
I
mean, I
said,
would have liked to had a little bit more at the end, but
the audio made this movie for me. I'm gonna give it 4 scores as well. I say go in the theater and watch it because you know it's gonna be dark and it's gonna be loud. Hopefully nobody's laughing when you watch it.
not.
But
Hope you don't have any psychos in the theater like we did.
if you wanna wait till streaming, whenever it comes out of streaming at some point, then yeah, wait till 9, 10 o'clock at night when it's good and dark and turn the sound way up.
Yes, absolutely. Unless you're just, like I said,
Because there's a lot of parts it's
you're
like
just chicken and you can't handle that, then
there's a
no.
lot of parts there's some silence in it. That just adds
Yes.
to it. So, like, we had the people ruffling popcorn bags, but, I mean, that just goes with the
Right. I
movie
mean,
experience, but, yeah, if you watch it at home, dark room, lights down, lights off, sound up.
well, I had to go to theater and watch it because, like I said, our slasher talk guy recommended it. And I was like, well, if he was like, scariest movie of the year and yada yada,
It is creepy.
I was
Uh,
like, well, I'm in. I gotta go in the theater and
it
watch
has
it.
an overall creepy vibe. It takes a little bit to get into it.
Yeah, it's a little
Uh
slow burn at the beginning, but I still enjoyed that. I
But
mean,
once they start the podcast, yeah, you had to build up with her mom, and they don't ever explain why her mom's bedridden and sick and dying or
but,
whatever, but
I kinda like that, like, I kind of, like because a lot of stuff there's a lot of over-explaining of why this and
yeah,
that.
they didn't explain a lot, they didn't really
Yeah,
have to,
and
like,
so it
it
kind
was
of
based on the podcast, and that's basically what they did, like, it really
yeah.
picked up once she started doing the podcast, and then she'd go check on her mom, and then they'd do the podcast, and then it was just kinda back and forth at
I
that
think
point.
her mom was just a, like, it wasn't an important part of the movie, like, it was, but it wasn't, it was just
Yeah,
kinda like, "My mom's
I don't
sick."
know, later on, she
Well,
kinda
but, yeah, I mean, like, it was kind of I don't know. Like, a lot of horror movies well, this happened and this is why this happened. And like, like with Friday the 13th, well, the little boy drowned and this is why the mom's killing him. But I kind of like the fact that they just kind of jumped into it and didn't explain all that. I
yeah,
thought it was,
I think it worked well.
I think it worked for
I hope
this
it does
movie.
good. Yeah, I recommend watching it. Definitely
Yes.
watching it at some point, be it
Hmm.
movie or home theater or home TV or whatever you got.
Yes.
Don't miss Undertone.
Undertone. Yes. We highly recommend it. We agree on this one.
We do. It's very good. They had some good trailers beforehand. The Mummy looks good.
Oh my gosh, we cannot wait to go see
The Mummy
that.
looks creepy and fucked up in a way.
Oh my gosh, you all, we
It's almost
cannot.
like it reminded me of Evil Dead
Oh
and The
gosh.
Mummy combined.
You gotta
That's the
see
first trailer I've seen of it.
you gotta see the trailer for The Mummy. I'm telling you, like, we are definitely gonna talk about that, and I think we're definitely gonna love that one. It looks fan
Yeah,
fanta so
another trailers. I think that was the best trailer we've seen of them
well, of
beforehand.
course,
But
Michael Jackson, but that's not a horror movie.
yeah, The Mummy. But anyways, that's another subject at another time when
Yes,
Mummy
when that
comes
movie
out.
comes out, we'll definitely be talking about that, so
But
you
go
just
see
wait.
Undertone.
Yes, we recommend it.
Anything you want to add?
Nope. Think I'm
Okay.
good.
Until next time, I'm Jeff Darko.
And I'm Beth Graves.